Welcome to a new episode of the Inside Rip. Today was a fun one. We spoke to ColeThePole, who you will soon know as the man who created the Sports Card Collector Simulator, a hobby-focused video game that comes out this summer. If you're in the hobby or enjoy playing video games, you are going to want to watch today's episode. Please enjoy. Cole, you could have created any other game. You could have done anything else. Why this?
I've always been a fan of the hobby. I think I've always collected cards. I think like everyone has since they were super young, and kind of got back into it, the post-COVID boom. I actually went to my first national post-COVID in 2023 in Chicago, which is where I'm from. And that kind of reinvigorated everything, kind of seeing, the hobby live. And next thing I know, I wake up the next morning and all my phone content is, WeTheHobby clips and everything else like that. So I was almost forced on me again to start to enjoy this. But I just thought, combining something that I have a passion for, along with something, I think from like a business side is growing heavily.
Sports Card Collector Simulator?
Yep, a mouthful, but yep.
How would you describe what this video game is to someone who has no idea that it exists and that you are creating it?
You are put in the world's largest convention center, and you are given a 5x5 booth zone with a folding table and a couple of packs. Convention opens at 8 a.m. and it closes at 9 p.m. And you're able to do pretty much whatever you want to put your mind to. But the basis is just opening cards, collecting collectibles, and kind of decorating out your booth zone. And kind of figuring out, what different sports you want to collect. Right now I have baseball, football, basketball, and hockey to start.
How do you win at this game? Is there an ending? This just continues forever.
Yeah, so it's, technically infinite if you do want to spend all day in the game, but it's pretty much up to you. You can really focus in on, creating the best aesthetically pleasing booth. You can also make the most revenue out of all 128 booths that are in the show. So if you're more business focused and you enjoy the hobby, then you can really focus on, figuring out what cards, flip for the highest profit. If you're into just hockey cards, you can collect I think there's 20,000 different hockey cards in there. So if you want to collect all 20,000 different designs, you can do that. So it's pretty much just eye of the beholder, whatever you find enjoyable, whatever brings you dopamine. If that's opening packs instead of being a savvy businessman, then you can go for that.
Is there a public score that people can compete with? Or is there a leaderboard like, oh, this person leads in all hockey, or this person has the highest graded booth, or how does that work?
Yeah. So right now there are just two modes in games. So single player, where you just kind of play by yourself offline. There's no leaderboard or anything. And then there's also multiplayer. So you can team up with you and 3 of your other friends. You guys can either share a booth in the convention center or open up, 4 unique booths and compete against each other.
What is your background as a developer? Like, have you developed any other video games before?
So this is my first public commercial video game that is making it to release, hopefully, fingers crossed. But a lot of side projects. But this is my first game related thing that's public that I've ever shared out with anyone. And the reception's been pretty good so far. So it's been nice to see. It's been very encouraging, to continue on and, keep building it. And obviously, I have such a passion for design. So it's been pretty easy, to wake up, in the early mornings and, continue to work at it.
How long are you working on this per day?
I mean, I'm fortunate enough that right now, this is all I'm doing. I mean, up at 7 or 8 and then to bed, 11 midnight and just kind of.
I was like, how do you sleep?
Down.
How long do you sleep?
Sleep next to my laptop.
Are you actually sleeping next to your laptop? Yes.
Yeah, this is all in my room. So it's a short walk to the office.
Because I can imagine you wake up in the middle of the night and you're like, oh my God, I have an idea. How often does that happen?
My iPhone notes app probably has a good 10 pages in there of kind of just, everything jumbled down or things, I figured out maybe code wise that I got to set up and change to make it more efficient, or, just design ideas or stuff I saw, scrolling on YouTube Shorts, seeing some convention clip that I thought would be funny to add in, that type of thing. So all came out of my head into a Google Doc and then moved over to kind of more of a Figma spreadsheet. and really just kind of divulged from there. But it has been a lot, coming up with 60 completely unique teams, 600 random names, all these fake backstories, and kind of making somewhat of a cohesive story, and something that I think people would enjoy and find interesting.
Everyone has a big idea, and I'm sure a lot of people had this idea of a video game for the hobby. But what was that moment where you're like, I gotta freaking do this? I'm doing it today.
I think I was just going, online, looking at different games and different like development stories of people who have been like solo devs and indie devs, and reading them, and every single one has the same intro. It's just like start, start, start. Like just
Sure.
open up your project, open up your laptop. You don't even have to build anything yet. You can just put a cube in your scene. The reassurance from other people online of like, no one knows what they're doing when they start. Everyone starts at the same blank, page. It's just when you start is kind of what's the difference between, kind of what can make something successful. Knowing that too, that it's just all trial and error, and things are going to fail for something to succeed. So
What was your first plug-in for this game? Was it a booth? Was it a card? Was it a player? Was it a
yeah, I think it was some of the card designs, that I was making like in Figma and Photoshop. I just moved over like all the textures so I could see them, like floating in the 3D scene, and kind of that gave me a little bit of like an adrenaline rush to see like, oh, this like does actually look good.
Yeah, there was some. It feels like there's purity there because it's like you're creating a video game about the hobby, but if the first things that you created were the cards, I feel like you're onto something, Cole.
Yeah.
How would you describe that Google Doc, that original Google Doc that you had when this became, a concept off of your head?
Yeah. It's it's probably now at 70 plus pages long of random bolded
Oh,
words,
yeah.
and outlined and X through stuff. Pretty much just put down, every little idea I had to begin with. And as with a lot of this stuff, it's something called like feature creep is a big thing with like game design, where you just think of the next idea and you have to put it in there. Like the
Ah,
game won't be the same without adding in, live streaming, or without adding in, custom card, guards. So it just kind of kept on adding and adding. And pretty much now it's at a point where I have a pretty big like Discord community. So they've been, feeding me ideas,
oh,
every waking hour. They're excited to, see what else I'm putting in the game and kind of want to have their input. It's nice to, start to build a community with this, and see, other people want it to grow as well.
what were some extra ideas that people had suggested that you were like, gotta add that to the list?
Yeah, a lot of the main ones, were some more of like the realism, within actually going to a show. So being
Okay.
able to run like live comps at your table, to pull out your phone and like scan a card in
Oh,
game.
that's cool.
To add in like a, equivalent of like a market movers app, like a sports card market, so you're able to like track all the collectibles. Um, a big one was adding in, which is quite funny, is adding in deodorant to sell, as a lot of people's qualms
That
with the
is
conventions, where some of the smells in there. So it ranged definitely from some serious ones to some more comical ones. You know, with
Have
with
you
certain
been
different
to the
things.
Dallas card show lately? They had a whole area of
I saw, yeah,
deodorant.
I saw
Dude,
the
that's
picture.
funny.
Yeah,
That's but a very, very detailed
yeah.
ode to the experience.
Oh,
So
for sure. It's an interesting blend of, now I'm getting in like video game lovers and hobby lovers, right? So I'm seeing kind of the balance of people who want it to be like a good functioning video game, and then some people who really want these other details. And I think they kind of, feed off each other.
I want to get your sense on like what about the convention center setting made you think that this could be a good form for a video game?
Yeah, I think there are, a lot of what they call, I guess, in the video game community, like shop simulators is very common.
Okay.
So where
Okay.
you kind of run and open up a shop. I wanted to kind of put my own twist on that, because I, think that that style of game, in my opinion, can get a little repetitive. And I think also just kind of the chaoticness of something like a convention center,
Mm-hmm.
is pretty unique, and definitely, can be enjoyable in video game format, where there's a lot going on all the time. I haven't seen anything kind of like that before, so I thought it'd be a good twist to put on it.
What essence of the hobby did you really want to capture in this game? Was it the community? Was it the thrill of opening packs? Was it the business side of things? What was it for you that you really wanted to make sure you caught that right in this game?
Yeah, I think it started off heavily just with the collecting part. Being able to kind of show off your collection how you want it to be. I know, remember when I was growing up and still do it now with some of my binders, I put all my best cards in the front, right? So when I open the binder, that first page, it's all my good stuff. So, you're able to move around your cards, as you please in the game as well, to kind of give it that, realistic feel. And then also, I think as it's developed more, has focused heavily on, I guess, like the negotiation in game and kind of the business aspect of it. Also, some of the interesting kind of DMs I've received were from some parents saying that like this could be a good way to get their kids into not being as anxious to go into these convention centers. So kind of a blend of everything, collecting and then now the negotiation business side, and then focus into more just kind of the convention experience as a whole.
So you got the art of negotiation, but like now we're in like, oh my God, I found this one of one. Like, how do you make that feel good, as good as it does in real life?
The main thing, like the pack opening, there's a ton of different sound effects for certain rarities, whether it be like a base, an insert, a parallel, patch auto. So they all have different noises and kind of like shaking on the screen that they make. So there's like a wide range of different, I guess, almost dopamine rushes that I was trying to add in to give to certain cards.
Smart.
And then there's also the feature of kind of like sliding back some of the cards, which I know a lot of people do like in real life when they're opening packs. They'll slide back, like they'll see like a little shiny corner and they'll slide and be like, whoa, this is a big one. So there's a ton of little details and stuff like that.
Wow. Is this game meant to be relaxing or competitive or chaotic or like all three?
Yeah, I think all three. I think again, just kind of how you want to play it. There's a lot of different toggles and settings you can turn off. Like something we haven't touched on is like the thief mode. So you're able to turn it on and off if you want thieves being able to steal from your booth or steal from other people's booth, or you can just turn it off so nothing too chaotic's ever going to happen. But you could just go in there and use it as like a pack simulator, and just if you don't want to spend money on a real hobby box, you can buy a hobby box in the game. And I think the multiplayer element's going to add like a good social depth, so you can just be another space to go hang out with your friends, and maybe get them interested in the hobby if they aren't already.
Yes, this thief simulator, if you will, which keeps people from stealing. You can hit them with a baseball bat. You can shoot them with a paintball gun or use a slingshot, if I'm correct.
Yeah, those are the starting ones.
Oh, the starting ones.
Do you think I have 600 teams and only 3 weapons? Come on.
All right, you. But how do you stop this game from feeling repetitive for people?
The whole point of the game is, funny enough, to do the same task, but at the same time, like doing the same task is boring innately, which is something I've really tried to avoid with adding in like all these different elements, like the 3 in-game convention mini games. Also, there's a whole arcade in the front of the convention center where you're able to play Keymaster to win a card. You're able to play claw machine to pick up a card. You're able to challenge your friends to see like who can pick up the most balls in the claw machine, and the winner gets like a certain card. You guys can wager stuff back and forth, or you can just open packs all day, and people have been doing that for 10, 20 years and never get bored of it. So there's like a lot of different stuff that you can really focus your energy on. I think that can try to like expand obviously the gameplay a little, from just kind of buying, selling, trading.
Your fingerprints are on this entire game. Like when I look up on the site, it just says you're the only one.
Yep.
It's just your brain being put out in this video game.
Yep.
What is that pressure like, my friend?
It's early on, it was definitely a little less intense than it was now. I don't think they understand that it's just me. So, they are kind of expecting, kind of what like a studio could put out with, art directors and like designated programmers. Not saying that I am not going to give it my all, but it's going to take a little more time. I think a lot of the stuff, because I had to, kind of split up, the jobs and the roles, within myself.
What does keep you up at night when it comes to this project?
Hoping that people will, again, find it enjoyable, find it replayable, just have, a good overall experience, just playing the game, and pretty much just being, I think, just a success to people in the hobby. And I think people who really care about it, finding it fun and enjoyable and like a good reflection.
Before you went public with this game, like, how did it feel to work on this project alone when nobody knew it existed?
Some high highs and some low lows, seeing
Mm.
stuff come to obviously like fruition and seeing it on my screen, exactly how I have it like sketched down in my notebook. Or just, showing something off to like my brother or one of my friends, and
Okay.
them not like fully quite understanding it. And right, because a lot of people maybe have never even collected a card in their life or even seen a single clip about like a convention center, right? Versus like, in my world, in my head, and the people I talk to now and like who enjoy this game in my community, obviously are understanding and know what it is. So, being able to create stuff that is, not just self-explanatory, but kind of goes over the top so that if you have no clue about anything, you can still understand it to kind of not like, break up who can really understand and, play the game and enjoy it.
You mentioned your brother, but like, who was the first person you told that you were making this game?
Yeah, I think it was my brother. I think it was
Okay.
him. Yeah, I think I showed him. I think I'm about a month after I started when I got like a good prototype down and kind of something a little more tangible. And he knows absolutely nothing about the hobby. So it's been good kind of showing him, and he's kind of picking up on it and giving me good input based on stuff he sees, and it's been nice to have like that outside eye of someone who hasn't seen anything, which I guess, will be a big market for this game of people, who come across this and think it's cool, but don't know anything about it.
What part of the game are you most proud of?
I would really say like the kind of the whole in-game sports universe. I think with the,
Yeah,
the fake leagues, the 60 teams, the 600 players, all the different
that's
in-game like
all
card.
you.
Yeah, which is, it's nice to see it come to fruition as I had it like in my dock. Seeing them look almost as like good as some of my favorite like card designs has been pretty rewarding.
So did you create Garancho Taquito and Chris Uno Cinco and Diego Mezcal all on your own?
I did. Those are all my brainchild, kind of influenced by. I know the Chris Uno Cinco was influenced heavily by obviously Chad Ochocinco, as you
I'm
can
gonna
see.
hope so. But, like, are there any Easter eggs that are there just because Cole made this game?
Early on, it was a lot of inside jokes and kind of Easter eggs between me and my friends. Yeah, there's definitely just a bunch of little kind of cutesy Easter egg stuff in there.
Give me
That's
a
kind of
cutesy
just fun to
Easter
find
egg.
out.
Give me like a cutesy one. I want to hear a
Yeah,
cutesy one.
on the main menu loading page, there's something that you can double click. You'll be able to redeem it in game. It'll be like a little charm that you can put on your binder, kind of swing at the bottom instead of the zipper.
Where can we find the game? Where can I finally start to play this thing? I'm sure everyone's asking you, but give us
Yeah.
all those details.
So at the moment, just the Steam page is live, so it's just going to be on PC. Should be looking at like a demo of the game, so it'll be just like a nice vertical slice. You'll be able to play like a limited number of days. That should come out hopefully within the next couple months. Definitely shooting for the summer, but I do have some conversations set up with some different video game publishers about helping me get this onto console. So which that'll be very cool. So definitely shooting for later this summer, potentially early like Q4.
What's next for this game and for you? Like, I'm sure you've already had those ideas float, even though you're
Yeah.
here to get this one done. But what's next?
Yeah. No, I mean, obviously could build it into more of a open world style where not only are you running a convention center, but you could be running like a local card shop. Or you could be running, something more of like a Fanatics Fest, which is a little more general sports focused, depending on, if I can get some different ideas of kind of how to build out to keep, the gameplay interesting.
So those are in the works, but we wish you all the luck and success
Thank you.
at getting this launched for the summer, so we can
Yeah,
all lock
excited.
ourselves in air
Yeah.
conditioning to play this game.
No one should be going out this summer. They should be playing this.
Playing the video game. Cole, thank you. I appreciate your time, man.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.